Alright, to a lot of you, this video isn't going to be that helpful. I'm going to go over some really basic vocabulary and some foundational stuff, and in the future I might go over some more complicated stuff in like part 2 maybe, I don't know. But there are some topics that I think might be interesting to people who already have experience. I'll put some timestamps here. Now, there's going to be a bit of a long intro to this, so I'll also put a timestamp here for when my intro is done, because I do have some stuff that I want to say. So I've had some friends asking me what my workout routine is, and I've yet to answer them. It has been many months. So the reason it's taken me so long is because I believe it's more helpful if I explain how training works and how they can train for their goals, rather than me giving them some routine that might not get them exactly what they want out of fitness, out of working out. Now, disclaimer, I am not credible. Take everything I say with a grain of salt. And right now, I just want to compile everything I've learned over 2-ish years of working out into one spot. In future sections of this video, in part 2, maybe part 3, I don't know, I do plan to go over some fitness YouTubers that I like, that I've been watching over those 2 years, and that like actually cite their sources and are actually like credible. This video is going to be really roughly put together, and again, I just want to get something posted, because if I try to do everything in one, if I try to say everything in one video, I'm never going to complete it. It's going to take way too long, and I'm lazy. So yeah. Now, one last thing. If you're pushing your comfort zone and working hard, but you're doing it safely, paying attention to that your form is correct and not like injuring your joints or something, the only thing that can happen is progress. You're only going to improve, because you know what else can happen, right? Your body is adapting to a stress that you're applying on it because you're working hard. Yeah. All right, without further ado, let's get into some basic vocab. So,
just kidding, future Roger here to make the intro even longer than it already is. So when I was first getting started with fitness, the main thing that confused me was the vocab. It was jargon, kind of. And I guess I wanted this video to be the thing that I wish I had, like a little dictionary that goes over all the really basic vocab that people assume you already know. So this is level 0 here. You also notice that the video is really long, so it's a little bit of a test of your attention span. Again, I didn't do much editing, so most of it's single cut. So yeah, I'll put some Subway Surfers at the bottom, but everything about this video is long, really long. Everything about it, everything.
first of all, resistance training. It's just exercises meant to strengthen muscles by contracting them against a resisting force. So if you think about a bicep curl, pretend this is a dumbbell, but this is my resistance. Force of gravity is working against the contraction of my bicep. All right, that's it. That's what resistance training is. My dad just walked past through the window. He's probably wondering what I'm doing right now. Aerobic training, it trains your heart. It's cardio, right? Jogging, walking, any exercise that you're sustaining over a long period of time. All right, progressive overload. This one's super important. Progressive overload is gradually adapting your body to greater and greater stress. This is how you progress in basically anything, all right? You start easy and then you gradually go harder and harder and harder, and your body adapts. That's how all of this works. And that's I have no idea what I'm saying, but if you imagine a bicep curl again, you would start really light with whatever you can handle, right? Let's say 10 pounds. And then once you've adapted to that, once that becomes easy, you just go up to 15 and then keep going. And eventually you're curling like 30, I don't know. If you're training correctly, training should always feel somewhat uncomfortable, but you can adapt backtrack. Training should always feel somewhat uncomfortable because you're constantly making it harder for yourself so that you can adapt to another level of difficulty. But you can adapt your mindset to tolerate this and to even enjoy it, right? So you'll see a whole bunch of guys in the gym like repping out an exercise, and they're pushing themselves really hard, and they're enjoying it because they know they're setting up themselves to live better lives in the future, right? Okay, volume versus intensity. Volume is how much work done, while intensity is how difficult the work is. So think about it like this. Volume is how many reps, so maybe 12 bicep curls. Again, I keep going back to bicep curls, but yeah. And intensity is how much weight, so 20 pounds. Birds. All right. Oh, hypertrophy. Hypertrophy is any increase in muscle size. So that can happen in many ways, but the main way is through micro tears in the muscle. What happens is when you do resistance training, making a callback to a previous vocabulary term, hopefully you remember it. When you do resistance training, you're putting micro tears in your muscle, right? Where was I? Yeah, any stress to the muscle will cause micro tears, and then your body will fill in those micro tears, and your muscle gets bigger and stronger. Okay, next. Eccentric versus concentric. Now, again, a bicep curl. If you, reading off my paper, the concentric portion of a motion is the contraction. So if I'm bicep curling, you'll see the bicep is contracting here. That's the concentric portion. And then the eccentric is when it extends. Eccentric, extend, concentric, contract, right? So eccentric. Now, hypertrophy occurs during the eccentric portion of an exercise because as you're lengthening that muscle, that's where all the micro tears happen, right? So a lot of people who do bodybuilding or they train for aesthetic purposes to get bigger muscles, they will focus a lot on the eccentric portion to like really maximize how much tearing they're getting in that muscle, right? Okay, muscle fibers. I think I labeled at the beginning of the video that this section might be a little useful to people, but if you already know about fast twitch and slow twitch muscle fibers, skip this section. You don't need it. All right. Fast twitch muscle fibers. Rewind. Okay, going back and starting over. I'm probably gonna cut this out. Fast twitch muscle. You got fast twitch and you got slow twitch muscle fibers. Fast twitch fibers, they're thicker and they're capable of large force exertion, but they wear out fast. So fast twitch muscle fibers are responsible for like large strength output. So if you're benching a lot of weight, like your 1 rep max, you're using fast twitch muscle fibers. Or they're also responsible for explosive movement. So if you're like jumping or something, I don't know, you are using your fast twitch muscle fibers, and those wear out fast, right? They're not very energy efficient. Now, slow twitch muscle fibers, they're thinner and they're capable of less force exertion, but they're much more energy efficient. So if you're doing something that doesn't require a lot of force output from your muscle, but you're doing it for a long time, that's working your slow twitch muscle fiber. So think like running, aerobic exercise. That's a callback. That's a callback to a previous vocabulary term. Bodybuilders and people who train for aesthetic purposes, they will focus, their training prioritizes fast twitch muscle fibers. Actually, a lot of resistance training prioritizes fast twitch muscle fibers, but neglects slow twitch muscle fibers, because they're using heavy weights. They're using heavy weights and they're wearing themselves out before their slow twitch muscle fibers get recruited. Something else that's important is Henneman's size principle, which basically says when performing a task, your body will use muscle fibers from small to large. So think about me picking up this sheet of paper. My body is recruiting the slow twitch muscle fibers because this is a light load. I don't really need much force to pick it up, and I can hold it for a long time. Now if I start picking up heavier stuff like this water bottle again, now my body will start to recruit larger muscle fibers, and then if I pick up something even heavier, this chair, then my body has to recruit fast twitch muscle fibers, or larger fibers, right? And a lot of people who do resistance training work with heavy weights, so they're recruiting their fast twitch muscle fibers and then wearing themselves out before their slow twitch muscle fibers get worn out. I don't know if that makes sense. I'll probably elaborate on it. Actually, no, I don't have to elaborate on it because there's a video. Oh my God, this is already 9 minutes long. Okay. There's a video by a channel called the Bioneer, which I'm a big fan of, been a huge fan of it for the entire 2 years of my training. what was it? Oh, he has a video about, I think it's work capacity. I'll probably link it in the description, but he goes into much more depth about slow twitch muscle fiber and fast twitch muscle fiber, and how you can actually target your slow twitch muscle fiber, because that's generally neglected. I'll link that in the description, and yeah, you can check it out if you want, but honestly, it's not that important as a beginner. It's getting kind of windy. All right, sorry about the background noise. The background noise, not noise. I don't know what I said. What is this? There's a stain on my paper. Brown line. Whatever. Okay, now on to some dietary stuff. Caloric deficit versus caloric surplus. Now, every day, your body uses a certain amount of calories on average. This is called your maintenance calories, right? So, I don't actually know what a typical maintenance calorie number is. Maybe, I'm just gonna throw something out there. 3,000 calories. Let's say every day on average, you'll burn 3,000 calories, okay? Now, if you eat more calories than this throughout the day, let's say you eat 4,000 calories, you have an extra 1,000 calories. And again, these are unrealistic. These are probably unrealistic numbers. I don't really track my calories, but I do know this is how it works. If you go over your maintenance calories, then what is your body gonna do with the extra 1,000 calories, right? It's gonna store them as physical mass. And that mass can be fat or it can be muscle. And, what the hell was that? All right. It might be time to move inside, but I'm moving inside. Okay. Well. Here's my closet. Should I clean this up? No, I'm gonna move. The lighting's trash, I don't like it. Closet. Okay, when you go over your maintenance calories, your body stores the extra calories as physical mass. All right? So, oh, there's a hummingbird out there. Give me a sec. Sorry for the sidetrack, but I think this is very important. Yeah, that's a hummingbird. That's it. Where'd my papers go? What? Oh, okay, got it. Sorry for the sidetrack. Oh, the hummingbird's gone. Very sad. Closed. I can't let you see what's inside my closet. Bodies. When you go over your maintenance calories, then your body stores it and you gain mass, okay? And that can be muscle or that can be fat. And whether you gain muscle or fat depends on whether you're stressing your muscles and whether you're eating enough protein, which I'll get into later. This is called a bulk, all right? You're bulking up mass. All right, next. If you eat less calories than your maintenance calories, then you lose mass because your body needs to pull those. If you're not getting enough calories from your food, your body needs to pull it from elsewhere. And it will pull it from either fat or muscle again. Now, your body will always burn fat first. So this is called a cut. When you eat less calories than your body burns, then you're gonna lose weight and you'll probably lose fat first. Unless you're doing something radically wrong, then you might start like absolutely destroying your muscle. I don't know. All right, macronutrients. There's three. There's protein, fats, and carbs. If you've taken 9th grade biology, you probably already know what these do, so you can skip this part. But protein, it's the building blocks. It rebuilds the tears in your muscles that I talked about earlier, the micro tears that come from the eccentric portion of an exercise that cause hypertrophy. Triple callback right there. God, I'm so cool. They rebuild the tears in your muscles and they add on muscle mass. So a lot of people, when you're doing fitness, when you're doing resistance training especially, because resistance training is what causes muscle tears, you need to eat a lot of protein. But yeah. Next, fats. Fats are responsible for hormone production, and they can also be stored as energy, as fat on your skin. Now, a lot of people will like demonize fats and say, "Oh, it's fat. It's bad for you. It'll." I don't know. But no, fats are very good for you. So one of the things that fats is important for is testosterone. And I know I just caught the attention of a whole bunch of people there because you guys probably know what testosterone is. You guys know how important testosterone can be for putting on muscle or whatever. A lot of people want it, right? And testosterone is made from fats. So you got to make sure you're getting your fats and good healthy fats, because there's a lot of unhealthy fats that you'll find in junk food and stuff. Stay away from junk food, please. But you probably know that already. I angled my face. Now, carbs. Carbs are your quick energy source, and they can also be stored in the muscle to provide the muscle direct energy as something called glycogen. So carbs, sorry. I'm going to start over on the carbs section because this is not really well put together. All right. Carbs are your quick energy source. The moment you intake carbs, they will be burned by your body to use as direct fuel. It's just energy for you. It'll fuel you. It'll fuel you and your workouts. Carbs can also be stored in the muscle to provide the muscle a direct source of energy as glycogen, and this does add muscle mass. So a lot of bodybuilders actually have a lot of glycogen in their muscles, which is a good thing. Some people will say their muscles are less dense and more puffy, which is kind of true, but that's not necessarily a bad thing, right? Calisthenics. Calisthenics is just resistance training with body weight. So think push-ups, pull-ups, body weight squats. All of those are calisthenics. And then there's also weighted calisthenics, which is where you do push-ups or pull-ups with weight, and then there's, weighted calisthenic squats, but then that's just all squats. So the line gets a little blurred, but I'm going to cut this out. This is not important. People who commit completely to calisthenics can do some crazy stuff, all right? Calisthenics gets extremely difficult, and I'll put some pictures on various parts of the screen of absolute beasts doing some crazy calisthenics moves. Next up, this isn't vocab anymore. This is, another hummingbird. What can you train for? What are the specific things that you can train for? And it's good to know this because then if something sounds appealing to you, you can search it up and find more information on that specific topic. That's how I learned everything that I know, is by finding something I want to get better at, and then figuring out what the name for that was, and then searching it up, right? So a video I'm going to recommend for this, all the information I'm going to say after this is from this video. It's another Bioneer video. It's called Pillars of Fitness or something like that. Search up Bioneer Pillars of Fitness. I'll probably link it in the description as well. But in this video, he just covers basically everything you can train for, right? So I'm just gonna briefly list them out. Strength, speed, endurance, agility, mobility, cognitive function, which I don't know anything about. Don't expect me to be talking about that at all. Ask the Bioneer. That's it. For more detail about the Pillars of Fitness, go watch the Pillars of Fitness. Go watch the video that I stole all this information from. All right, I want to just get this first part out because if I don't at least post something, I'll never follow through with this project, logging everything that I know about fitness into one spot. Why is my hair doing that? Before I end the video, final reminder, there are many people who can explain this far better than I can, and they actually cite their sources, I guess. So with this series, which I hopefully will continue, who knows, I might get lazy and I am going somewhere over the summer, but I want to offer a starting point for people who want to get into fitness, and I want to give you just a decent foundation of knowledge that you can use to customize your routines. In the future, I plan to follow up to this video with more information that goes a little deeper rather than just some foundational vocab that I did in this video. I just want to get something out. I just want to, commit myself to this by posting something. So as you can see, I have no idea how to end this video. Yeah, bye.